Well, good morning, folks. This is another one of those videos I spoke of where you don't see my face. There's going to be a bunch of times where I feel like I just need to get a point across to y'all, and I just want to talk to you about something. But the point to my story is this. It is June the 9th at 6 something a.m. near 7 a.m. It is 2014. And I got to give a shout out here. Happy birthday, Mom. Yes, it's my mom's birthday. And with that being said, I've also got to, if he remembers, I have a friend of mine who is an elderly gentleman who promised that me and him would eat breakfast together at Huddle House, if he remembers. But beyond that, everything's going fine, and you know me. I try to do what I can to make it in this world, but, I don't know. I guess I just let a lot of things slip into my mind, and I think about, before I go too far, I'm saying this, and I'm putting this out here because I want y'all to know about it, but I want y'all to remember the Lot family especially that was, you probably, for those that know them, you probably remember a long time ago there was a guy that had an airplane, and his name was J.J. Lot, and he was also one of the relatives in the family of Lots, which would have been, there was a Dr. Lot that had an office in Broxton, Georgia at one time. Okay, it's that family. Well, what happened was, out of the ones I know of, there was a Desi Lot, there was a David Lot, there was a Don T. Lot. Okay, well, what happened was, if you remember, those lots that like Don and them, had a mother who used to be a worker at a bank in Douglas, Georgia. Okay, her name was Wilhelmina Lot. You probably remember that. For those that remember all this stuff. Well, I found out last week that Miss Wilhelmina Lot had died. Now you say, well, what's that to you, Isaac? Well, okay, where I started out from was Broxton, Georgia. Okay, when I lived there, I went to Heritage Baptist Church, which was Don T's church that he ran. He is the preacher there, a pastor. Anyway, when he could, and she felt like it, his mother would go to church there too. Okay, when she did go to church there, me and her became friends just like everybody else did. So it was about like you made a new family member. Okay, when I found out she had passed away, yes, I said to myself, I'm going to the whole thing. I'm going to the viewing and to the service. And I did. I went the whole thing. I went all three places. It was basically at Sims Funeral Home in Douglas, Georgia. I went for the viewing. They had it at their chapel, the church service. And then I went to the gravesite. If I had it to do again, I would do it again. But that's just what it was it was an update on something in my life that I thought y'all should know about. But also, what else? What else can I say? Well, now I know that first part probably wasn't so clear because I didn't have the camera closer to my face, even though it's a dark video. But anyway, I want y'all to know something here. Excuse me. Whatever happens in my future, do not judge me harshly, because I understand that there's a lot of things running through my mind that I look at like, should I keep these things in my head? And they're nothing dirty. Don't get me wrong, nothing dirty. Just about, hey, wait a minute. Aren't I thinking about people in ways that would cause some folks to look at you funny? And aren't I looking at some people in ways that could make folks look at you like, why is his prerogative and his idea, but yeah, but I guess where I'm going with this is that when you take and think good of a person and you don't think bad of a person, sometimes even the good you think of a person can get someone looking at you funny because they don't understand your intentions, your motives. My intentions and motives were, I'm a guy and I happened to solve something that looked important to me or good to me, so I decided to say something about it. Now you say, how's that a significance of any kind? Well, the point is that if I knew in my past what I knew about my future, some of my future wouldn't be the way it was. In my past, if I knew my past like I know it now, then my past's past would have changed things. Like today, when it's gone, and then your future comes, and then your future's gone, then this moment right now would have been your future's past, basically, or your past's past. And if you knew some things in those time periods, you probably could change what was going to happen ahead of you. But you didn't know. And we never did know. And don't get me wrong. If you like something don't let some of your likes and dislikes take you away from your beliefs in the Lord. There are people out there that make you believe if you watch a horror movie, you're sinning. No. What's a good sin? And I don't mean good as in like good or bad. I mean what is a full-fledged sin would be one where you take and say to yourself, I'm a guy or a girl and I'm going to do something evil towards another person or to myself. As you know, what you watch on TV does not make you a sinner. How you act and react, that can have a lot to do with it. I've seen people before go through life talking about all kinds of manner, and they were wrong for it, so they sinned verbally. Okay, well then I seen somebody watch a movie had multiple cussing in it. Well, did he cuss? Not the watcher. The one watching the movie never cussed. So does that mean that, since the guy in the watching the movie, if the guy watching the movie never cussed, but he watched cussing, that was a whole lot better. Now, if the guy watching the cussing movie went to cussing up a storm, yeah, I can understand if you have your slip-ups and stuff, but I just don't know. Also, you got to think about the kids you have around you and about their beliefs and what they see you doing or not doing. And then you got to also think about the fact that there are these folks in this world, literally, that actually look at you like if you done something they didn't like. I've known them before. People that look you dead in the eyeballs. Either look you in the eyeballs or either talk to you on the phone or either get on the internet and will tell you point blank, if you do this action that they don't want you doing, they will cut themselves away from you. And you're like, sometimes the things they say you have to do for them to cut ties with you, it'll be something so ridiculous, you wonder about it. And you think to yourself, why be that cuckoo when you don't know what to do? I love you folks. But when you go to talking about, I don't get it, think about it. What are you talking about I don't get? Most of the time people say you don't get something. They're not really saying you don't get it. They're just saying they said something they figured was so smart that no one would understand it. So basically, in a nutshell, no one's supposed to get it. But since you're the only one standing there, you're the one that don't get it. Think about it. Watch what you say before you run your mouth. Okay, I have been known in my life to be very polite to some folks. It does not mean anything, but if it did mean something, what's the big deal? What if I thought that woman was worth dealing with further? You might look at me like, be careful. Some people in this world, men and women, you make him be so polite to. and they still might either not be right for you to deal with or stab you in the back. I know that for a fact too. But I can't deny the fact that I've not said or done something to people that I appreciated I did, and that they probably appreciated themselves. There's that to think of. So, I guess your best bet is just be nice to people. If they don't like it, that's their business. And isn't it supposed to be, if you're going to a church, and if the person that you're dealing with, okay, I'll give you an example. Say you go to a church, and while you're at church, you have a problem with someone at that church. That does not mean quit going to church because you had a problem with someone. But there's too many people in this world sit there talking about, well, I had a problem with someone at church, so I just won't go back. And why do you get mad at God for the fact that He had to take somebody out of your life, that He had to take out of your life through death? Well, that wasn't because of no other reason but just that person's time to go. Yeah, maybe they went out with cancer, but that's how it was supposed to happen. You can't say that to some people anymore because they'll get mad at you and say, well, you don't need to talk to me like that. Well, excuse me, I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest, folks. I can't change the future. I can and I can't at the same time. I can change the future as far as God tells you to change it, but beyond those limitations, there's nothing else you can do. Only changes you can make to the future is what God allows. Beyond those things, there's nothing else you can do. So if you expect me to say, hey, do something about the future, I'm like, well, doesn't it say that God is allowing you to change yourself? That means change yours. What God is saying is the things you do now. If you did something like beat someone up, and then say that God said the best way to solve the problem was go back and tell that person, I'm sorry, do that. Because if you don't, your future is going to be that person hating your guts forever. So there's how you change the future before it ever came. You cause what could have been the worst thing in the world to be, may not be the best thing in the world, but it was worth God telling you to do it. So what I'm saying is, if I am a man and I tell you, hey, won't you go do such and such? What I just told you was that I wanted you to basically take and say, okay, you're a guy, you just cussed a woman out. Now she's upset at you. Okay, if God said go back and apologize to her for that and try to work it out to where either she's not mad at you, or either she's your friend, or either she's whatever. Then you turn around and realize, if I hadn't have done that, then in the future, she would have been still mad at me. Or if not, she would have still had hard feelings towards me. Now it's not so bad. Then you can explain yourself. You say, well, I cussed you out because I had some issues. And she's going to be like, no, some folks would have been like, what kind of issues? And you'd have told them. Now, some folks would have said they had issues. And some folks would have asked them, well, oh, yeah, I know you got issues. I was like, whoa, hold on. That ain't what they meant. They're talking about they might have been mad that day. Good grief, what's up? And if I ever be nice to somebody, there are times I meant to be nice because it was the right thing to do. And other times because it was the right thing to do, and plus I really thought something of somebody. If it's a guy, I thought he was a good friend. If it was a woman, maybe I thought more of her and I wanted to know her more. I don't always know every time I've ever done it, but I do know that. And then there's some women that I just wanted to be want to be friends with. Some I wanted more with. Oh yeah, now you're going to think, oh yeah, I know what more he's talking about. No, it wasn't sex. I'm talking about either dating them or being their friend. People, get out the gutter. When you know, every time somebody says something, you'll pick something out of what they said and run with it. Like, oh, they just said something dirty. I did? Well, you didn't tell me about it. Last time I checked, I didn't know I was even talking dirty. But there are actual folks in this world that will look at you dead in the eyeballs and say, you're cussing, you're fussing, you're raising sin, you're talking dirty, you don't know what you're doing. And I look at like, well, if I'm not doing it right, then what in the world? Think, folks, think. You're grown butt men having some grown butt problems, and you won't even talk about nothing. You won't sit there and say, you know, if you got grown butt problems, what in the world are you not treating it that way? You're like, oh, I'm a grown man trying to treat my problems I have like I'm a child instead of I'm an adult. And regardless how you make money, as long as you're honest with it, you could be on SSI, you could have a job, you could collect cans and recycle those cans you collected. As long as it's something honest, okay. I don't believe in drug dealing. When I said I don't believe in it, I don't mean it don't exist. I just mean I don't believe in doing it. I don't want to do it, okay? So to clear it up, I meant to say I don't do that stuff. And I don't condone it. I don't support it. I won't support drug dealing. I won't support drug use. I don't support prostitution. I don't support the temptation to want to be a prostitute. Now you think to yourself, who in their right mind would even ponder temptation of prostitution? Oh, you'd be surprised. There's many people out there, if it could be a temptation of evil, someone's thought about it and wanted to do it. And you say, well, taught you a lesson, didn't it? Yep. Evil is tempting, and even there's even people that have been tempted by good, which that's a good temptation. Do not get me wrong. Oh, I want to go out here, and I desperately want to go buy this person some flowers. Well, why didn't you do it? Because you were worried someone would take it the wrong way. Well, how would they take it the wrong way? Well, if you're a guy and you're buying them for a woman, they might think you're trying to hit on her. Okay, makes more sense. Now, if you're a guy and you're buying them for another guy, they say, ooh, didn't know you had those gay tendencies. What? I didn't say nothing about that. Did you ask who that guy was? Oh, you remember those so-and-so I was buying them flowers for? Yeah, that was my uncle, and he was in the hospital. Like, oops, yeah. So, in other words, I ain't gay. And they'll be like, well, sorry. Be like, see, don't judge people. You judge too much, you be sitting there finding out you got sort of backhanded by the judgment. It's sort of like the joke was on you based on the judgment. You find out not everybody out there is out for what you think they're out for. But there are some that are. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to tell you. But it just gets you confused too much when people tell you, oh yeah, go do such and such. And you did that, they said to do. And you find out, oh, why did I do it then? Well, you did it because you thought you was going to get somewhere. And if you're a good person, you expected to get somewhere good. I did that. I loved my dad for the many years he was alive while I was alive. Now you say, are you dead? You said while you're alive. No, but I outlived my father. Men can do that. You know. Which you wish it was the other way around. You know, but sometimes. I don't know why, but we do think that sometimes. But anyway, my dad was in his 80s when he died. Yeah, I know you're saying you're 33, and when your dad left this world, he was 80-something, and you were still probably 20 or 30-something during the time he died. Yup, I know. But that's life. But the point is, I did that story that I told you about doing something to expecting good to come out of it. Well, I loved him, and he was a mixed person. One minute he was good, one minute he was bad, but you didn't know when he was good. It was still kind of bad when he was good because you didn't know what he wanted from you. And you're like, well, what did he want? You wondered. But you come to find out what happened was when he did that, what he did made you wonder, why did he do it? Well, he done what he done because he wanted stuff for himself. And I don't really think he cared about any woman in this world, because if he did, he wouldn't have done them so gruff. But that's him. But I just got to say, folks, don't take things the wrong way all the time. And if you do take them wrong, don't take it so wrong as to say, boy, I wish I hadn't have said that. Well, if you shouldn't have said it, then don't say it. And another thing, folks, if you love somebody, if it's worth them knowing about it, you better tell them about it before it's too late. And also, folks, if you end up getting new thoughts about people you've known for a while, ask the Lord, is it right to be that way? And if so, what do you do about it? Because I'm telling you, folks, I'm not this little man, but I'm not no big man. And I'm going to tell you something. Yes, I am 5'3", and I've lost so far probably 20 or so pounds, which leaves me to being 160 something pounds. Nice acting guy. If you're a good person and you get in front of me, you get the same thing back. I'm a good guy. If you're rude, then I gotta deal with you the way God told me to deal with you. God says, if you're confused on how to deal with a rude person in front of you, talk to me and I'll tell you how to deal with them. So if you ever confront a rude person, do not fight. Do not be anything negative towards them. Just say, God, how do I treat this person? God will tell you how to treat them. And please don't let people tell you that what your entertainment is based on you. So basically you are your entertainment, as the saying goes. You like evil things, or they think you like evil things, so you are evil. Not exactly, but, and realize there are going to be people that are young at heart. And there are going to be people that will assume they have some slight mental issues because they see things about themselves, and they may. But it's nothing to turn your back on them and say they're mentally retarded. They could be smart people, but their smartness may be in such a way to where they have a mental issue to where they act in ways that are normal, but just, like, I'll give you an example. When you can act young at heart, get along with kids, and be able to not be bothered by certain things that people expect you to be bothered by about kids, makes people look at you funny, like, this guy's got to have some kind of problems. He gets along with kids too well. He makes a lot of friends. When he makes friends, he doesn't have a lot of friends, but it's easy for him to make friends with those that seem to be in a certain realm of kindness. Yeah, I guess I do make friends in a certain group of kind folks. And I do appreciate my friends I have. Do not get me wrong. And I don't agree with these folks that see any deformities on a person, or infirmities, however you call it, infirmities, and say, oh, well, you gotta, this is people in general. You got a back, if your back's bent a little, you're a hunchback of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, or whatever you call it. And I'm thinking, or you could be a man that had a limp. Or you could be a man that, whatever your handicap is. And look, folks, you're going to bash people no matter what they say. You're going to bash them on what they say. And you may bash me. You may say, oh, well, you shouldn't say all this stuff. But you know what? I'm going to say what I got to say. And what I got to say is that my mind works on the level of, I say that what I want to do is I want to be me. And when I be me, me is going to be telling you that if a guy is handicapped, there's nothing wrong with him. Because as long as he's got a heart and a soul and can treat you good, there you go. That's what it takes in this world today, folks. Honest, kind people being honestly kind to other people. If you really think about it, you could sit there day in and out, and you could actually say, Well, the guy's got this going on, that going on. Apparently, he's also probably lost his will to be good or bad. Oh, so you mean because a man has got a healthy heart and soul, no matter what else is wrong with him, he can't have the ability to be good or bad because it must have got handicapped to that ability. No, pretty much it didn't. I don't get all that. I don't get all that. No, it has nothing to do with all that. What it has to do with is this guy got a new perspective on life, a new lease on life. He says, hey, I'm alive. So that means if I can think and feel the way I think and feel now, I pretty much can be good or bad. A man with no legs and arms can be a Christian with no legs and arms. It'd be kind of hard to go places where God is in public if you're that way, but God can come visit you at home and minister to you if you can't get there. And I'm sorry for folks that have these problems, because we all have health issues whether we want to admit to it or not. So we might as well just accept it and say, healthy man? What is a healthy person? Well, it's been known to be saying if you're a large person, you're a healthy person. Now, why would they say if you're super large? Like, somebody might say, that's a very healthy man there. Now, why would you say that? If he's overweight, he ain't healthy. So why would you say it? And also, why, guys, I work out. I use weights. I make sure not to slow down a lot when I go up and down my stairs where I live. I live in an apartment. Don't knock it till you try it. It's not a bad lifestyle. And when I go up and down my stairs, I basically... Let's see, how do I put... I basically, when I go up and down my stairs, there are times I try to get in a hurry with it so I can strengthen my legs. Okay, and then I use the protein powder that they sell at Walmart's. Nothing wrong with that. But you do know, folks, if you don't live a certain way in your lifestyle, you're not going to get nowhere in life. And plus, learn, folks, if you make a mistake in life, do not judge the person that made that mistake with you or for you. Judge that person based on who they are. If they're good people, and they become they're kind-hearted people, and they do for others, then there's the part of them that you judge. Oh, well, that's good. Glad of it. And that's the kind of person that should be your friend. There you go. You just said it. But anyhow, I just thought to bring that up. And people, if a guy comes in your face and says something to you, don't automatically think because you saw him and he looked a certain way to you, oh, he must be a Mexican, or he must be a German, or he must be this or that. I say he is what he is, and if he told you what he was, take it that way. He should know. He's the one who's living his own life. You ain't living his life for him, so you don't know. And that's also the same about entertainment. Guy could listen to a song that was Mexican song. Oh, he's a Mexican now. Or he's a German because he listened to German music. Or he's Russian because he listened to Russian music. I say, like I said before and I'll say it again, he is what he is. I know y'all don't like me being this way, but the ones that don't like it's the ones that probably don't care about nothing but themselves, or either the devil. Yeah, I know I blowed on something just now. But anyhow, there was something I thought had something on it. Excuse me. But anyway, I'm just saying before I go, don't take things so seriously. And don't start sitting there acting like because somebody did something you don't like, they're wrong. But I better let y'all go, because I got to be ready for a certain time to leave. And also, don't always think everything's wrong. I'll let y'all go. Have a nice day, and just understand, take a lot of what I say to heart, and work on the problems, if you have them, that I speak of, and think first before you react.